I'd like to call the July City Council meeting to order, and we will have the Pledge of Allegiance, and you sit down for a moment, please. If the scout troop would come forward, folks, you fellas can help us out.
Guess we can stand, probably.
And the rest of us will please rise for the pledge to our nation's flag when these fellas get arranged. Y'all set, fellas? Let's go, let's get the... I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, fellas. And what scout troop is it?
Troop 337.
And where?
Out of Rossville.
Out of Rossville, okay.
Right.
Great.
Put that down.
The Hornets are in the building.
And good luck to you fellas, and thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
You bet.
Glad to have you.
Would the clerk please conduct a roll call?
Heidi.
Here.
Clinker.
Here.
Nargi.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson. Downing.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Four present.
Would, Mr.
My mic
Heidi,
went
would you be kind enough to call for a suspension of the rules so that we can have a public hearing?
As said.
For a second?
Second.
Jerry.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign, thank you. The resolution,
2018-10, a resolution approving a waiver of noncompliance subject to the final public hearing, Lex Lafayette LP.
is there other comments by members of the Common Council? Any public input? There being none, then would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on resolution?
No.
We're just gonna have the public
Public
hearing on the
hearing.
next
Very
resolution
good.
now.
Okay, let's do that. Next public hearing.
Resolution 2018-11, a resolution declaring the designation of certain real estate as an economic revitalization area and approving the application for property tax abatement, Columbia Park Redevelopment LLC Real Estate.
Mr. Clinker.
Move for public hearing on Resolution 2018-11.
Nargi.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Any comments by members of the Common Council? Any comments by members of the audience? There being none, we'll go on to Resolution 2018-12.
A resolution declaring the designation of certain real estate as an economic revitalization area and approving the application for property tax abatement, Caterpillar Incorporated Real Estate.
Nargi,
I move we approve a resolution for 2018-12.
This is
Second.
just the public hearing.
Public
Oh, the
hearing.
for the public hearing for the
Public
resolution, sorry.
yes, sir.
Second.
Second. Any comments by members of the Common Council? Members of the audience? There being none?
I move we reconvene.
Go ahead.
Should I move to reconvene the meeting? All right.
And second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same sign, thank you. Approval of the minutes. You have received the minutes of the June 4th meeting. Are there any corrections? Mr. Brown?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the minutes as communicated.
Second?
Klausmeyer? Any questions or comments about those minutes? There being none, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on approval of the minutes?
Heidi.
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Minutes approved.
Presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city offices on file in the city clerk's office.
Police Department monthly May and the annual report 2017. Fleet maintenance monthly May. Waterworks Department monthly May. Renew Department monthly May.
All of those reports are on file in the clerk's office during the hours of our opening of City Hall, and they may be examined at your convenience. There are no ordinances for second reading, ordinances for first reading.
Ordinance 2018-13, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from GP to I-1, 3824 South 18th Street, Paul Incorporated petitioner.
What's the pleasure of the council?
I
Mr.
move to
Downey?
hear and approve 2018-13.
Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Comments by members of the common council. Is there a representative for the petitioner here? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Kyle Dietrich with Riling, Teeter, and Schreier. To the extent you have any questions, this is the same petition that was in front of the board in June. I believe it was a clerical error that only one of the two petitions was approved. So subject to your questions.
Were you responsible for the clerical error?
I'll take responsibility for that.
The buck stops here, right?
Stop right there. Any questions of this
Just
gentleman?
adding the other tower.
So we're just clearing up, I guess, another cell tower.
Correct. So this is for the west-south tower, the larger 100 by 100 square foot, or 100 by 100 foot area for the cell tower that's out on the west side of the property.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Mr. President, I may add that APC passes 13-0, and we had no problems with
Thank
it,
you.
so.
Thank you. Thank you. Any members of the audience wish to address this particular
District 6.
ordinance? There being none, the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-13, first and final reading.
Heidi?
Aye.
Blinker?
Aye.
Margie?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. Ordinance 2018-14.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R2 to R3, former St. Elizabeth School of Nursing, Bridgeport Development, LLC petitioner.
Mr. Clinker.
I move we hear ordinance 2018-14 on first reading.
Nargi.
And second.
Any comments by members of the common council? Or representatives for this particular ordinance? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Wyatt of Ball Eggleston, here on behalf of the petitioner, Brinshore Development. As many members of the council may already be aware, the building that we are proposing to rezone has quite a bit of history here in Lafayette and Tippecanoe County. It was originally constructed in 1922, and during its life has served as a high school. It served as the home of the College of Nursing at St. Elizabeth's, and it's also served as the home for St. Francis College. In the ultimate development, we are looking at 44 total units, with 37 one-bedroom units and 7 two-bedroom units. And of those units, 11 of them will be dedicated to clients of the Wabash Center. Another 11 will be dedicated at 50% of the area median income. So these are reduced rent housing for low-income families. And then another 22 units will be at 60% of the area median income, also for reduced rent purposes. This petition did receive a 15-0 vote in favor at the APC, and parking will be available for residents in the parking garage to the east of the building. I am available for questions. I also have representatives from St. Elizabeth's and from Brinshore here if the members have any more specific questions.
Any questions of this young lady? Mr. Heidi?
Is this 55 years and older? To rent?
For tenants?
Yeah.
Yeah, let
Ask
Peter-
Mr. Lavavi to answer that question.
Hi, Peter Levavi from Brinshore Development. It is not age restricted, and that does not preclude people who are 55 and older living there. And in fact, we've made strong connections with Area 6 and a lot of the senior services that are around, and we anticipate that this will be a very attractive place for seniors to live. It's got an elevator. All the units are going to be visitable. We're going to have a lot of handicap accessible units in the building. including handicap parking, which is right adjacent. So we do anticipate it. We're not limiting it, though.
So you said it was 44 standalone with bathroom in each?
Correct.
Yeah.
So full apartments, bathrooms, kitchens,
Yeah.
and individual heating, because currently the building gets heat from a heating plant that
Right.
the hospital has. We're cutting off from there, and then we're putting
Gotcha.
in new heat and cooling systems in each of the units.
Okay.
Just in case some of you have forgotten, but Brinshore Development was the company that we worked with to do the Chatham Square, the award-winning project for the city. So we've had pretty fabulous experience with their projects.
And the same management that we're using at Chatham Square will be managing this property, including all of the same rules and regulations that we have at Chatham Square, which are unique here in Lafayette. We do drug testing, we do work requirements, landlord checks, criminal background checks. So we're very serious about being a place where people who want help to establish themselves and get a career, we're really there to help them. We have a lot of strong partnerships developed, especially with Faith CDC and the new community center that's coming in right down the street from it. There are a myriad of social service agencies that are going to be in that building, and we've been in very close connection with them to make those services available.
As this development is going on in my district, as a matter of fact, 3 blocks from my house, I represent a lot of people who own rental property in that area. Was there any kind of study done as far as the impact on the market?
First of all, I have to apologize to you. I said last time when we were at the APC I was going to send you the study, and it has not been released completely yet. I was able to get all of the comps, though, and I promise that the second I have it, I'm going to forward it to you. Will it have an impact in the area? This is a more general question, not just on the rentals, but on the for sale. If you use Chatham Square as an example, people started investing in their property all around because we improved the community so much. I think it's going to have a similar impact on the rental market. I think that we're going to raise the bar on what good housing for rental housing is in this community.
Okay, and I will look forward to that data, sir.
Thank you. I swear, I just don't have it in my hand, but you would have had it.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions of this gentleman? You guarantee that it's going to be done as well as the Chatham Square? Good.
It's going to be better because we learn from our mistakes, and each time we get a little bit better.
Any questions? Any questions by members of the audience of these two folks? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Dennis Carson, Economic Development Director. Just want to say that we are very much in support of this project. This is the kind of project that we really like to see in Lafayette, as Peter talked about, and as Mr. Chosnick said as well, too. I mean, this project will have lots of services with it. It'll be not just housing, but also services to support the people, give them a hand up and such. So, again, like Chatham Square, it has a lot of the requirements that we like to see in place, the work requirements, the drug testing, those things. And as you know, some other developments do not have those kind of requirements. So this really sets it apart, and we're very excited about working with Brinshore again. So if you have any questions of me, I'd be happy to answer.
Mr. Carson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You have a question back there, sir? This one? Good. You don't have to listen to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Inquiring minds.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-14?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 7-0.
Thank you. Resolutions for first and final reading.
Resolution 2018-13, a resolution approving a waiver of noncompliance and finding compliance with the Statement of Benefits, LEX Lafayette LP.
Who's going to handle this? These 3 or 4,
Okay.
okay? tell us what you would like us to do.
I move that
And we
we
get-
hear Resolution 2018-13.
Very good, thank you.
And I second.
Good, thank you. Go ahead, Dennis.
All right, Dennis Carson, Economic Development Director. This is the same as you saw last month. This is Lex Lafayette and a waiver for their noncompliance on their tax abatement. There was a technicality, and the county auditor wanted us to include some language about the Form 322, so that's included in here and such. So we urge your approval for this.
Any questions of Dennis? Members of the audience wish to address this resolution? There being no questions, then would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2018-13?
Heidi,
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer. Aye. Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you. Resolution 2018-14.
A resolution confirming the designation of certain real estate as an economic revitalization area and approval of an application by for property tax abatement, Columbia Park Development, LLC Real Estate.
Yes, sir.
I moved to, Mr. President, I moved to hear Resolution 2018-14.
Thank you.
Second.
Mr. Brown, second. Dennis.
Give me again, Dennis Carson, Economic Development Director. This, again, is a tax abatement that you heard last month, so this is the same thing as well. This is a confirmatory resolution. We're excited about this project as well. We've been working with Keller Development on this project for several months, and very excited to see this senior housing project to move forward. So, again, I'd be happy to answer any questions. And we also have representatives from Keller Development if you have specific questions for them tonight.
Any questions of Dennis? Any comments by members of the audience? Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2018-14?
Heidi.
Aye.
Clinker. Clinker. Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you. Resolution 2018-15.
A resolution confirming the designation of certain real estate as an economic revitalization area and approval of an application for by property tax abatement, Caterpillar Incorporated Real Estate.
What's the pleasure of the council, Mrs. Alsmeyer?
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve Resolution 2018-15.
Mr. Downey?
Second.
Dennis?
I probably should just stand up here
Stay
and not
up
sit
there.
down.
That would save time.
That's right. Again, this is the same project that you heard about in June. So this is Caterpillar's real estate tax abatement, and we have representatives from Caterpillar here if you have specific questions, but I'm happy to answer any as well.
Any questions of Dennis? There being none, thank Dennis. Any questions by members of the audience? There being none, and would the clerk conduct a roll call of Resolution 2018-15?
Heidi.
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you. Resolution 2018-16.
A resolution approving a deduction for tax abatement in an economic revitalization area, Caterpillar Incorporated Personal Property.
Mr. Downing?
I move to hear and approve Resolution 2018-16.
Mr. Heidi?
Aye.
Aye.
Second.
Somebody just pick him up.
I second, is what he said. I second.
Okay, very good.
I said it very loud, didn't I?
Vote is 1-0 at this point. Go ahead.
Dennis
Go
Carson,
ahead,
Economic
Dennis.
Development Director. This is a new tax abatement request from Caterpillar. This is going along with their real estate investment in the project that they are doing. We do have representatives here from Caterpillar, and I'll have them bring up to tonight here to explain their personal property request.
Good evening. Good to see you all again from the June meeting. My name is Eric Newkirk with Caterpillar in Peoria, and with me is Bruce Brenneman, Operations Manager for the plant here in Lafayette. In the interest of time, I'll skip over the overview of the facility and the things we've done for the community. We just want to focus on the personal property investment, $64.5 million over the next 3 to 4 years, 2018 to 2021. I'll have Bruce talk a little bit about the personal side of it. Personal property.
Great, thanks. So personal property typically would be machine tools, cranes, assembly equipment, for improved ergonomics, improved efficiency. So those would be lifting devices, torque tools, and things like that. So mostly machine tools, ergonomic equipment, assembly equipment, some test cell upgrades.
Anybody want to argue with this fella?
You do have a question?
Nobody wants to argue. Any questions?
I have a question. Will the tariffs that we've heard about, will that put a little more risk in this? Do you feel, does that make it a little tougher to get to the 125 employment and the investment, or do you feel pretty comfortable still?
What do you say?
No, our business is pretty strong right now, so I don't think it'll affect the 125. Again, we've got a really strong demand, and we see the need to invest, and so I don't expect that to impact it.
Yep. Thank you.
Any other questions? None currently. Any questions from the audience for these gentlemen? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody want to address this in the audience? Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2018-16?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you. Dennis, would you explain briefly what we have just done from all of these standpoints so that it's not just a run-through, but it's very important for the tax abatement and for each of these companies we're talking about? A general overview so the scouts may understand what's just went on.
Oh, sure. Companies in Greater Lafayette can apply for what we call tax abatement, which is basically a tax phase-in. So if they have a project and they're making new investments, so in Caterpillar's case, they're making a real estate investment of over $12 million, and then they're also making an investment into what they call personal property, which gives the machinery and equipment. And for Caterpillar's case, this is over $64 million. And in return for that, they are also pledging to create new jobs and retain employees as well, too. So Caterpillar, I believe, is retaining 1,353 jobs and going to create 125 new jobs. So this is, great for our local economy, provides good employment for folks, better wages and things like that. So we're pretty excited about these kind of investment, and it also creates new tax dollars for our community as well, too, even though, again, the taxes are phased in over a period of time. So typically on personal property, as we're doing tonight, it's a 7-year phase-in. On real estate, we're granting a 10-year phase-in. So that
Thank you very much, Dennis.
overview there, yeah, sure.
Now we all understand it. Resolution 2018-17.
A resolution approving the Columbian Park Neighborhood Study Planning Document.
Mr. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, I move to hear Resolution
Good.
2018-17.
Mr. Brown?
Second.
Comments by, apparently, Dennis.
Sure.
A stool.
Dennis Carson, Economic Development Director. We do have representatives here for the Columbian Park Plan that can explain a little bit more in detail, but this is goes along with the project that we that tax abatement earlier here at 2323 on Ferry Street. So it's a requirement that they have to do for their tax credit application. So I'll let the people from HWC come up and give you a brief overview of the plan and why it was done.
Hello. Well, Dennis pretty much stole my thunder there on my prepared speech, but Lauren Bailey from HWC Engineering, like he'd said, it's part of the tax credit application process. You do need to have a redevelopment plan in place. So Keller Development hired us, a planning firm, to do this more of a study for the neighborhood so the city can utilize for the future. And so the study itself is the Columbian Park neighborhood, just a little bit smaller scale, and really focusing on the redevelopment of the old hospital site. So in the plan, you guys do have hard copies of that draft. So there is a little bit implementation strategies in there, some recommendations as well. Any questions?
Was this ever presented at a neighborhood meeting, or?
Yes, so
Tell
we
us
did
little
have
bit
a
about
public
that.
input meeting required by statute. So that was on May 29th at the Columbian Park Pavilion.
Okay. Mostly positive feelings about it?
Yeah, we had a pretty good turnout. A lot of it was much like the the 1999 focus area plan. A little bit different feel as far as the redevelopment of the actual hospital site, but really good impacts on that.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Questions?
Any other questions? Members of the audience wish to question this young lady? There being none, thank you very much. Why don't you give us some feedback about what is going to happen from your standpoint?
Sure, you mean as for the tax credits?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Danelle Bieberstein with Keller Development, working through the process of putting in the application for the development at 2323 Ferry Street. The application for funding is due on July 30th, so it's ramping up really fast. IHCDA, which is Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority, puts out what they call a QAP, which is the guidelines that they want to see developments built by and the locations. And in this QAP, they give you scoring categories, and part of that scoring category is the local redevelopment plan. And when we looked at the comprehensive plan, the housing element plan, and the original Columbian Park redevelopment plan, there were some areas that weren't really what IHCDA was looking for. So that's when we hired HWC to write a plan. I've had other developers that write their own plans, but to me, that's wrong. I'm not a planner. I can't write stuff like that. I wouldn't want to try to. I don't want to shortchange the neighborhood. I don't want to shortchange the city. So with that, we did the plan or the study so that you guys could actually utilize it and the neighborhood could utilize it to go after grants for future stuff in the development. Short synopsis, if we're awarded, we'll know the 15th of November. We plan on probably closing and maybe starting construction probably mid-summer next year. That's kind of the short end.
Thank you very much. Any questions of this lady? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions by the audience? Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on Resolution 2018-17?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi? Aye. Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you. Reports of standing committees. Reports of special committees. Miscellaneous and new business. Reports by the mayor. He's an abstention. Reports by councilman. Public comment. Mr. Heidi?
I move to adjourn.
That a boy.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Good, thank you.